Welcome to Crime Cafe. My eye is twitching. Welcome to Crime Cafe. If you are returning, welcome back to Crime Cafe. I'm so happy to have you here. I have not been here for a while. It's been a couple months. I have not recorded anything since the beginning of August. And what I thought was going to be a little tiny break because my son had off school and I don't have childcare, and it just I wasn't going to be able to record. Special needs parent, stay-at-home mom. We do all the therapies, and I'm literally falling asleep. Like I haven't recorded, but I have 25 cases covered that I need to record. So, but it was me at 9 o'clock at night, like falling asleep at my computer. So I haven't been able to get in front of the camera, and actually do it. I wasn't able to get out of that state of mind then. That little break turned into some mental health issues with confidence and anxiety, and just, I think comparing. When I focus on myself, I tend to self-sabotage, and I destroy the things that I love to do. I take them away from myself. It's something that I've done since I'm young. I get scared. I ask myself, like, who are you? Who are you to do this? Compared to this person, this successful person. And it really takes a toll on me mentally, and I usually just stop. I've always just stopped. I've been in so many things. I've been decent at a lot of things. I'm never great at anything, but I've been decent at quite a few things, and I have quit everything. So I am not doing that because I am, like I said, a special needs mom. I'm a stay-at-home mom. I dedicate my life to my son and making his life the best that it can possibly be. He's on the spectrum, and I think because of his determination, and he's freaking amazing. Like, he just kills it day to day. Like, he's awesome. But I'd like to think that I had a little bit of a hand in that, and my dedication to him is, helps with that result. So I give my all to him and to be a wife. So I want something for myself, and I almost let myself take that away from me, and I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I am overcoming that. So if I'm a little awkward, just bear with me, because it's all mental health stuff. If you have mental health issues, anxiety, depression, you know what I mean. We get a little weird sometimes. But I like to say I'm bringing myself out of this one, and I'm coming back to the thing that I love, and I'm not taking it away, because I enjoy it, and it lets me hone in on who I am and what I stand for and what I like to do, and I don't need to compare myself to anyone else to feel bad. That's like selfish. It's me thinking about me only, and there's no need for that. So with all that being said, I'm sorry. I hope that made sense and it wasn't just like a jumble, but I want to say thank you to all of you, because I did not lose one single subscriber during these 2 months, and I actually gained a few. So I thank you for staying and sticking by me and supporting me, and I thank you for clicking that subscribe button, because it really means the world to me. I kept seeing my subscriber count go up. I keep seeing you all subscribing and watching my videos that I already have out, and it just kept nudging me to not stop. It was like, you got to get back in there. You got to get back in there. Don't let yourself not have this, just like you did so many other things. So thank you, because you helped me pull out of that funk. So with all that being said, sorry for the long introduction, but today's case is going to be about Shad Thyrion. This case, I want to say a disclaimer, because it is terrible. This case is violent, it's unsettling, and I just want to give a disclaimer around that, because it's pretty is pretty terrible. His name was Shad Thyrion, and he was 25 years old from Green Bay. He was born September 7th, 1997 to his mother Tara Pankinich and father Michael Thyrion. He had two sisters, Ava and Sylvia, and a brother, Bo. Shad attended Howard School as a child and later worked with his father and grandfather at their family business. Shad enjoyed camping, games, and spending time with his family. He was described as a very kind and compassionate person who always put others' needs before his own. He loved art, and he was very talented with wood carving. Now, to move on to Taylor. Taylor Schabusiness was 24 years old at the time this case took place. She was born on November 23rd, 1997, and her original name was Taylor Coronado, and she changed her name to Schabusiness in 2018. Taylor has one child, a little boy, who she had in 2021, but she has never had custody of him. She claims to be married to a guy named Warren Schabusiness, who is in prison. Warren had been in prison for a very long time, so it was rumored that Taylor's son wasn't biologically his. Taylor has a pretty extensive criminal record. She got in a lot of trouble in 2020. She fled from police, she jumped bail, she had drug possession, resisting or obstructing a police officer. She was on probation during this crime too, and she struggled with mental health issues since she was a little girl. She actually stayed in a psychiatric hospital for a little while when she was in 7th grade because she was trying to unalive herself. So Taylor was diagnosed with bipolar, ADD, ADHD, and PTSD. I'm not sure what the PTSD is from. I didn't find what that was caused from. You know, there's always a root of post-traumatic stress disorder, so I'm not sure what she went through. Her criminal record started on December 6th, 2019. She was cited for operating a vehicle suspended license. She pleaded no contest and had to pay a fine of $200.50. In June 2020, she was arrested and charged with battery and threat to a law enforcement officer and misdemeanor resisting or obstructing an officer. She pleaded no contest to battery charge and was found guilty and sentenced to 60 days in jail with 3 months probation. A wage garnishment was executed to cover court-ordered penalties at this point. In August of 2020, she was charged with failure to appear in court and resisting an officer, but both of those charges were dropped. So the end of August, on August 31st, 2020, she was caught with drug paraphernalia and charged with a misdemeanor possession, felony failure to appear, and felony fleeing from an officer in a vehicle, and misdemeanor resisting an officer. Once again, the failure to appear was dismissed, and she had to spend 3 months in jail and 2 years, this time, on probation. She was also made to wear an ankle monitor. On January 7th, 2021, she was sued by a federal credit union and lost. Then on February 9th, 2021, she was sued by the city of Green Bay and she lost and had to pay $4,998 to the city. On September 28th, 2021, she had a bench warrant out for her after failing to appear yet again for her hearing for the 3rd time. On October 26, 2021, she had court, and on January 3rd of 2022, so we're into this year now, she was sentenced with a felony from the June 2020 case and had to spend 3 months in jail with work release permitted. So this brings us to the beginning of this year, January of 2022. So after all of this run of the legal system, Taylor, after she gets out, she goes back to her Green Bay apartment. And though she's thinking that she wants to get her life back on track, she's in it. She owes so much money. She has this, extensive criminal record that jobs are going to look at. She has felonies. She owes a ton of money. She has wage garnishments. She's not doing very well. So for her to think, I'm going to do better, I want my life to be better, isn't very easy. It's easy to think, not easy to, truly believe that when you have a history like that. She gave up pretty fast on getting all of her shit straight, and it was around this time that her and Shad met each other. I'm not exactly sure when they first met, but he was still single, and they would get together from time to time and hang out and, you know, be like special friends. Within this relationship, Taylor was the more dominant person. Shad was not in a good time in his life. He was in a dark place in his, you know, being. So he wasn't making the best choices. And so he was having a little bit of a hard time. He was just in a dark place. And he met Taylor and they decided to have this agreement to hang out and, you know, have their sexual relationship and her be like a dominant one. On February 22nd, 2022, it was at 9:30 p.m. on Monday. Taylor and a friend picked up Shad. They went back to Taylor's apartment where they all smoked, and Taylor and Shad were smoking some harder stuff. The other friend had left, and Taylor and Shad planned to go back to Shad's house and hang out in his basement. It's something that they did. They were gonna go do that. Shad's mom said that she did see them go down into the basement late Monday night or early Tuesday morning. She couldn't remember exactly what time they came home, but she saw them both go down into the basement of her house. And this is when Taylor shot them both up with an antidepressant, which acted like a sedative for them. So on February 23rd, the next day, it was 2:30 in the morning. So really early in the morning, they probably weren't there for a very long time. Shad's mom woke up to the sound of her front door slamming and a car driving off. She assumed that it was Taylor leaving, and she decided that she wanted to check on her son because she didn't see him. Like when he came home, she didn't really talk to her or anything like that. So she wanted to go see if everything was all right. When she went down there, she noticed that the basement light was on. So she looked around, she said his name, there was no answer. She thought that maybe he left with Taylor. So she wanted to go down and, you know, see what was going on down there. And so she went downstairs to the basement. After looking around downstairs in the basement, she turned to go back up the stairs. And that's when she saw a bucket and there was a blanket covering the bucket. So she pulled the blanket off of the bucket and inside was Shad's head, her son's head looking up at her, and his male private area in that bucket. She immediately calls 911 and the police get there and they start to look around. There's blood everywhere. She lets them know that Taylor was the last person there with him, and they of course go to Taylor's apartment to look for her. The police started to immediately search her van. That's when Taylor came out of her apartment and she stopped. She was covered in blood. She had blood all over her sweatshirt and all over her pants. The police asked her if she knew why they were there. She said, yeah, it's for my warrant. So there was a warrant out for arrest and she thought that they were there because of her warrant. They said, yeah, something like that. So they started to ask her a couple questions. They let her know about Tara, Shad's mom, finding his head in a bucket, and Taylor was just kind of like, wow, that's really messed up. Like, she wasn't fazed. After a little bit of questioning, she admits to them that it was her who did it. And this is when she started to go a little bit crazy. Oh, she's already been crazy, like, for what she did. But to them, in front of them, she started to laugh and say things like, you're gonna have fun trying to find all of his body parts. They searched in her vehicle. This is where they found a crock pot that was filled with pieces of him. So when questioned, Taylor said that her and Shad did drugs and they started to have sex. She said Shad went and put a chain around his neck, like a dog choker chain. She did tell them that strangulation was a completely normal part of their sex life. It's something that they did all the time. It's something that Shad enjoyed. So this was not out of the norm. He went and got the choker. He laid on his stomach. She got on top of him on his back and she began to choke him. So she said at one point he flipped over and they started to engage in sex, and she had pulled the chain tighter. And this is when she realized how much she enjoyed that and that she couldn't stop. She just kept pulling it tighter and tighter, and she was not she didn't want to stop. She said that there were actually 2 chains on him. It was a choker and then just a normal chain. So she had them both, and she knew that she was actually strangling him. It did occur to her that she was actually strangling him, but she enjoyed it so much and he started to struggle, and she just kept going with it. She said that she blacked out and that she went crazy. She really didn't mean to kill him. And she even said at one point that she figured she had to finish it at that point. She was too far into it. He was coughing up blood. She just felt like it was too far in. So she had to continue to strangle him until, you know, he was actually gone. She told detectives that she knew that he was actually gone when his face turned purple and blood started coming out of his mouth. And the cops did ask her, you know, why didn't you stop? She actually said to the officers, have you ever loved something so much that you kill it? She said she played with, no, this is so terrible. She said that she played with Shad's body, like did things to him, did things to different parts of his body. She played with him for hours. And she performed things on him when he was already gone, and then she ended up cutting them off. She even talked about using a toy on him, and then she decided to just chop him up. She said that she walked up the steps into the kitchen and got a knife, and she decided to just chop him up. When she was told that Shad's mom found the bucket at the bottom of the steps, she was very upset and said that she, you know, she was mad at herself for getting lazy and forgetful. So of course Taylor was arrested and her bond was set to $2 million in cash. She is located at the Brown County Jail, and she has been found mentally fit to stand trial. Now her trial is set for today, actually, when I'm recording this, today, October 24th, 2022. So I'm not exactly sure if it's going on today or not. I did not look that up, and I should have, but I didn't realize that it was set for today. So yeah, when I'm editing this video, if anything comes up, if she actually goes through with the trial, if it's not postponed for whatever reason, I will put what happened at the trial on here. She had no care in the world that she did this to him, no regrets at all, and just, it's crazy. That's gonna be it for today for this case. Like I said, if the trial actually does happen today, I will leave, when I'm editing, I will put the information that I get from that in here for you. Trials get postponed all the time for like stupid reasons, but we shall see. I'll look into it. If you have any cases that you'd like for me to cover, definitely leave them in the comment section below. So thank you so much. I hope you have a wonderful day. Stay safe, and I will talk to you in the next one.